This is a look at the main British tanks used during World War II. It is not every single design, but the tanks that best represent how Britain fought, adapted, and learned during the war. From the opening battles of 1939 to the final advance into Germany, together they tell the story of a country entering a modern armoured war unprepared and leaving it far more capable. First, Britain's early war problem. At the start of World War II, British tank doctrine was divided. Some tanks were built to support infantry, others were built for speed and manoeuvre. Very few were designed to do both. That split would shape everything that followed. First, the tank that defined Britain's early war experience, the Matilda. Heavily armoured and difficult for enemy guns to destroy, the Matilda shocked German forces in early fighting. In places like France and North Africa, it proved nearly immune to standard anti-tank weapons, but protection came at a cost. The Matilda was slow, mechanically limited, and poorly suited to fast-moving warfare. As German tactics evolved, its advantages faded, and it was gradually pushed out of frontline service. Next came the search for something more practical. The Valentine. Smaller, cheaper, and far more reliable, the Valentine became one of Britain's most widely used tanks. It served in North Africa, Europe, and even on the Eastern Front through Lend-Lease. It was never impressive on paper, but it worked, and in wartime, reliability often mattered more than performance. Now, Britain tries to regain speed. The Crusader. Designed for desert warfare, the Crusader was fast and agile. It became a familiar sight racing across North Africa, engaging German armour in wide open terrain. But again, there were trade-offs. Armour was thin, mechanical failures were common. Crews often entered battle knowing their tank might not survive sustained fighting. By the middle of the war, Britain needed something tougher. The Churchill. Unusual in appearance and slow on the move, the Churchill was designed for difficult terrain rather than speed, and that's where it excelled. In Italy and northwest Europe, it climbed slopes, crossed trenches, and absorbed punishment that would have destroyed lighter tanks. Over time, it earned a reputation for resilience and adaptability. But even the Churchill couldn't solve every problem. British forces still needed a tank that could move quickly, fight effectively, and keep up with modern warfare. That led to a major shift. The Cromwell. Faster, more reliable, and better balanced, the Cromwell reflected hard lessons learned earlier in the war. By 1944, British armoured units finally had a tank that could operate at the tempo modern combat demanded. It wasn't perfect, but it marked real progress. Alongside British designs, another tank played a crucial role, the Sherman. Supplied in large numbers by the United States, the Sherman became a backbone of British armoured forces. It was dependable, easy to maintain, and available in quantities Britain couldn't match on its own. British crews adapted it, modified it, and relied on it heavily in northwest Europe. But Britain still wanted something better. That ambition produced one final wartime design, the Comet. Arriving late, the Comet combined speed, protection, and firepower more effectively than any previous British tank. It saw limited combat, but it demonstrated just how far British tank development had come, and directly influenced post-war designs. These were some of the most important British tanks of World War II. They were not the only ones used, but they defined Britain's armoured journey through the conflict. From early compromises to hard-earned adaptation to late war refinement. Built under pressure, tested in combat, refined through experience, they carried Britain from 1939 to victory in 1945. If you want more British military history told clearly and accurately, subscribe to the channel and check out the video on the British aircraft used in the Falklands War.